Good morning. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS, with your host, Bob Pace. You found the right spot if you're battling an agency that I call the Child Protection System. It's found in every county, in every state, and worldwide. This is a live stream that's broadcast worldwide. So I have right now 24 countries that have either called in or listened in. Text a message. Now, this is the right place to come to. This is the right place to come to. Now, what I'm proposed to give you is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney or a lawyer, but it's for education purposes only of how you can fight CPS. From my experiences fighting CPS for 15 years and the 2,800 people I've talked to in the last 24 months. I've been doing this live stream twice a day for over 2 years. I'm in my third year. I started in October of 2023. And this particular agency is responsible to investigate reports of child abuse or neglect. The sad part about it is 50% of the entities are corrupt. So you have a 50-50 chance you get a fair investigation. Also, we have something in common, all of us. It hurts the low income people because we don't have legal insurance or we don't have money to afford an attorney. Now, the child protection system has many different names. Many different names. Now, as I talk, I'm going to put banners up that I'd like you all to read. The first banner deals with how the text messages in this room. How the text messages in this room. Some of the countries have been Indonesia, Bangladesh, and India. Then in the Middle East, it's been Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and it's been Libya. Then over to the continent of Africa, I've heard from Liberia, Sudan, Republic of Congo, Rwanda, and Mozambique, and then the South African and all its provinces. Then up to Europe have been the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and Wales. I've also heard from Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond to North America, I have Canada and its provinces. Then in the United States, I've heard from all 50 states, including Washington, D.C. South of the border has been Mexico, and further south in South America, north of Brazil, on the East Coast, has been Grenada. Then in the South Pacific, I've had New Zealand, and the land down under, Australia and its states. All these people make up the 2,800 people I've talked to, and they all have something in common. They've encountered a rogue CPS that is bad. Also, they're low income, meaning they can't afford. The one thing you need is an attorney. And the kind of attorney you need is an attorney trained and educated in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. You're going to have a professional doctor trained and educated. You're not going to have a mechanic or a dishwasher working on your heart. I'm not saying a mechanic's not a good job. I'm not saying a dishwasher's not a good job. What I'm saying is that it takes a specialist. CPS is very complicated. You need someone who knows how to navigate. I tell people that CPS is like your Alice in Wonderland. You've fallen in and you fall in the rabbit hole and you met the Cheshire cat. And the Cheshire cat leads you room to room to room where you go nowhere. That's why you need a professional attorney. And that's my rule number one. Now, if you want legal advice and a professional attorney, I have one that I work for. His name is Vincent W. Davis. Vincent W. Davis. And he will gladly help you. He has been fighting CPS for 39 years. He's educated, trained, and licensed in the area of child abuse. I mean, it's juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those are the three areas of law they schooled, trained, and licensed and educated. Now, he works out of Arcadia Primary. That's his primary place. We got some people coming to the room. We have a new person. Hello, Kathy Doyle. It's a pleasure to meet you. And it says you need help, and you're from Cincinnati, Ohio. Thank you for sharing me your location. Um, Hamilton County, Ohio. Okay. Um, in your county, can you tell me a little about your case? Um, so I can help you start from the knock at your door and what the allegations are. Now, besides texting me a message, you can also be a guest on my live streams. I'm on twice a day. I'm on at 10 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday, and on the weekends at 8 a.m. Every night of the week, my second live stream, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children, is on at 7 p.m., 7 nights a week. These live streams are 1 hour. And I do try to help you. I try to help you learn from my mistakes and the mistakes of others. You're encountering a very dangerous entity that 50% of them are corrupt. You really don't know whether they're going to be good or bad. So please send me an email and can be a guest on my show. You can call Kathy Doyle. Good morning, Corella. Corella is from Oxnard, California. She has a case in Ventura County, and she has a criminal case in Oxnard. She was wrongfully evicted. She also has a CPS case. I'm going to put my phone number up because we have a new listener in here, Kathy, who has some questions. So, Kathy, I put my number up. You can call me. You can call my number. And you can ask any question you want, and we'll work through it. I will help you. That's what my purpose is in here, is to help you all. Now, whether you text me a message or be a guest on my live stream or call in, these are ways you can interact. Also, you can do emojis. And I thank so much. They have the emoji there from Christine Nacho Ogatana. I think you may be from another country, which is good. I'm glad that people are listening to me around the world. Um, it's really hard because you're not going to find somebody like me. They'll sit there for an hour twice a day, 7 days a week for 2 years constantly. That's 14 hours a week that I offer my time to you to help you fight your CPS matter, to hang on to your children or get your children back. It's a very terrible experience that you're going through. They are corrupt. And you're fighting against a very powerful organization. It's $1 trillion business for them. They make tons of money. Not off you, the parents, but having your kids in custody. That's how they make the money. So, Kathy, you're welcome to call in. And to you too, Corella. Corella has been coming to me for a long time. She's a very special person. I'm glad she is. She's part of the family. Like Kathy, you're now part of my family. And you can come in here anytime that you want. Anytime that you want. And all of you can do emojis. I love thumbs up and hearts and stuff. Okay, it looks like we got our first call from Cincinnati, Ohio. Wow. Can you turn me down in the background? Yeah, hello. Can you turn me down in the background? It's okay. It's just that I was competing with my voice.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so my daughter missed 2 weeks of school or whatever. And like the one week she had the flu, and then I had the flu or whatnot, and um, and so the school, I guess called Children's Services, and so when my mom found out that my daughter had missed school, my mom came, that night, that day or whatever, and then she took my oldest daughter was already living with her for the past 2 weeks, but my youngest daughter, she took her up to her house and took her to school the next day and stuff like that to help me out because I was sick or whatnot. Well, so it was a Friday that she took my youngest daughter to school. Well, then Friday night, they CPS went to my mom's house. They didn't come to my house. They didn't call me at all. And my mom has never been in trouble. She's never had any, not even so much as a speeding ticket. And so they interviewed, I guess they talked to my mom or whatever, and then they talked to like my nephews and like you get, well, the social worker that came, I guess she was trying to insinuate that, that over my past conditions that I was a bad mother or whatever, and my mom, was pretty much saying, even when she had an addiction, she was still, a good mom, but so then, but the lady switched my mom's words and at work, saying that my mom, and my mom had already explained to that lady that, Ellie, my daughter Ellie, would be staying there with her because she had been up all night and up all that day at school, to get her back on her schedule or whatever. And but she said that my mom told her that if I was to come there, that she would release my kids into my care no matter what my friend, which that's not what nothing what my mom said at all. And she said that that my mom said, oh, I think that's candy for her now, but that's not. My mom said, I think that's and said that she had an emergency order to remove the keys, blah blah blah. And mom said like, excuse me, like she's like, and she's always excited with them. Earlier she did, mom said you did that on my truck, you did that on my truck. With that little girl that I received. She said their unit can't wait till like the morning, and so they took my kids down to the downtown to the CPS building, and they called my aunt, which my aunt went and picked them up or whatever, thank God. But then so I had court that Monday. So my lawyer was like, he didn't explain anything. I didn't know that it was for the safety custody of my kids. I didn't know that it was for the safety custody of my kids. Like I'm thinking like there's a government a safety plan, but so my lawyer, and like anything that any like I and like also remember I'm a sister, I fix things. That's all I kept saying. And like he hasn't done anything at all else. Like he hasn't got any motions, like I have an insurance, he hasn't done nothing at all to help my case or nothing. And so then the CPS worker, after that first court, I didn't know it was for the state custody. So then I get paper in the mail, like I'm just gonna just to hear about them being placed on my hands, Well then I get a notice in the mail about the state taking custody of kids that I didn't contest it, which that wasn't the case at all. I didn't know that's what was happening, it was all it's happening so fast. And like my lawyer, he wasn't explaining nothing, he was just saying, oh, I'm a sister, let me fix it, blah blah blah. And so and then like my caseworker, the butler or whatever, so me and her scheduled an appointment February 19th or whatever, right? Well, she tried to say that the appointment was February 17th and tried to make it look like I missed my appointment. But February 17th was President's Day, was a holiday. Why would you schedule a meeting on your day off? You know what I mean? Well then, and then she told my aunt that my aunt was not allowed to speak to me. One of my kids was not allowed to speak to me, which that wasn't the case at all. She told, and my aunt even answered 3 different times, like, to even clarify, to make sure that's what she meant. And then in court, she tried to tell the magistrate that my aunt told her that she didn't feel comfortable doing supervised visits with me, which that's not all my aunt does at all. My aunt, like, I don't think, it's pretty awkward. I don't think, she needs supervised visits, but I don't care to do them, she can see her get whenever she wants. And then so, like, basically she was switching, like, the caseworker was switching all over. Well, then, out of the blue, because, and then my youngest daughter's father, he has never been involved in my youngest daughter's life at all. Like, he was put on child support when she was a baby, or whatever, because of, he's actually whatnot. But he has not been around, he's never met her, never been honest. She didn't even know his name. So they contacted, I guess, with him. Well, now he wants to come out of the thin blue air and be a father, okay? Well, and my boyfriend Jason is always around, like we never told Ellie, oh, that's your dad, but he's been around, so he started calling dad or whatever, and we just got, if it got there later on, if she got older, we just tell her later on down the road when it was not.
I have some questions. Can I ask? I have some questions to understand something here. How many children are we talking about that you have?
I have 2.
All right, you have 2 children. Now, you don't need to give me names. You have 2 children. Okay. And are there the same daddy for both of them? Or are there different daddies?
No. Different fathers.
All right. Are the fathers interested in helping out?
That's the thing. So, Jalen's dad, he's got a pretty extensive record. Sorry, I'm kidding. He's got a pretty extensive criminal record. But they haven't been able to notify him, so they think he kept continuing it. But then my youngest daughter's biological father, which she's never knew nothing about, he came in the picture, and there's a they just are jumped at, like that she didn't even know nothing about this man even existing. And they gave him my aunt's personal information, like her phone number and stuff, to call my daughter on, and said that I said, because I objected to them all, because I thought, she's already got her life tore apart right now with this and that going on, I didn't think that was the right time for her to find out about her biological father. Just to add fuel to the fire. And they pretty much told me and my aunt that we have to let her talk to him, that he has rights, blah 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 blah, and so forth. And nobody is like, and he's got a lawyer through the DA, I guess, or whatnot, and that everybody just keeps talking about his rights, and so he probably had maybe 4 or 5 supervised visits with my youngest daughter, and he applied to have an overnight visit. Well, my daughter has a medical condition where a man having an overnight, like it's not appropriate for her to stay overnight at a man's house, put it that way. And
How old is your daughters? How old is your daughters?
She just turned 9, and my other daughter just turned 16.
Okay, so you got a 16-year-old. Now, what does your 16-year-old daughter want to stay with a man that's not her father?
No, not him. She's not the issue. I'm talking about my youngest daughter.
Your 9-year-old. Now, what is the man that's not her father? What is the man that's not your father wanting to stay with him?
No, he doesn't want my oldest daughter to stay with him. He wants my youngest daughter to stay with him. But she's a lot more developed for her age. Like as far as like being a woman, but she also has like some developmental delays or whatever, and she has a medical condition which I got a doctor note from the doctor, to state that it's not appropriate for her to go stay with a random man that is pretty much a stranger to her, considering the help that she needs, and like he's like fighting it tooth and nail, like she's just gonna have to get used to it, and then he's lying about, he's saying that my aunt's giving him trouble about getting his visitation, which is a lie. And he was all the way in Florida, by the way. And they approved his ICPC instantly, which I don't understand how, because he has nothing but violence on his record. He has domestic violence and he has assault. And so I don't even understand how that got approved.
Well, first of all, you mentioned you got an attorney. Is that attorney a court-appointed attorney or a paid professional attorney? Well, that's the problem. Why are you using a court-appointed attorney? Why can't you hire a real attorney?
My financial situation.
Okay, all right. And you have no assets like a forever home or anything you could use to take a lien or take a loan against. You have no way of getting a loan. Okay. That's going to be one of the biggest problems you're going to have, is trying to fight CPS, because they have professional attorneys. They have lots of money and they want to get more money. In order to get more money, they have to keep your child in custody. Now, when they were investigating, they never came to your house. Why'd they come to your mother's house? What was your mother has custody of your children?
They did not even contact me. They went to my mother's house. So the school is my mom's address, which I don't think they never changed my address to my new address. So, but my kids didn't live with my mom forever. But my kid was already my mom came the day before and said, okay, I see you're struggling. Let me help you. Blah blah blah. And said the danger that their allegation the threat was already removed, but my mom already told them into her care the day before. And my mom, there's no reason whatsoever that they should ever even took them kids from my mom's home. She said she's never been in trouble. She has no criminal records. She's never done drugs. Nothing. You know what I mean? my mom at all, never.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, and that's and like the CPS worker, like she lied about so much stuff, and she ended up getting fired. She ended up getting fired or had to resign or whatnot. And so I do try, like, I don't know if I should go like try about filing a lawsuit, or I don't even know like where to begin or where to start, because they should have never made it. Should have never been ripped out of my mom's house in the middle of the night from their bed at all, because the allegation was against me.
So they took your, I mean, did you have a team meeting where they discussed where your children will stay? Why did they take your children? What danger were your children in?
They said the caseworker lied and said that my mom basically said that they told which was a lie. My mom didn't say this. The lady said that my mom said that she would release me if I wanted, if anytime I came over and wanted them, no matter if I was sober or not sober, and that's not nothing at all what my mom said. Like the lady flat out lied.
Well, I mean, are
And
they
I just told my
accusing that
mom,
your
like, you
mom
guys
would not be appropriate to have your children stay with her?
Well, they said, so on the report it says basically that my mom doesn't see a problem with with me being sober, that she didn't care that she would still release my kids to me if I was sober or not sober. But that's not what the case. That's not the case at all.
Well, what was the allegations that were charged? What did the paperwork say? What was it? What was it say? Neglect or
allegation was
abuse?
about Ellie. The allegation was basically just about Ellie missing school.
Now, why were they missing
Originally.
school in the first place?
Well, so it's, I mean, it's been a little bit of, well, that particular in 2 weeks, like I said, Ellie had the flu 1 week, and then I had the flu. But like she had been missing school periodically.
But you know, if a child is missing more than
Well,
1 or 2 days of school, they need to hear from the parent. Why did you not call the school and tell them your child was too sick to come in?
Well, I called in and let them know, like on the call line, but I guess they wanted to see her. But I had problems with that principal prior, because she was targeting my oldest daughter, and because she was my oldest daughter's middle school teacher, and she was targeting my oldest daughter. And so then
Why was she targeting your daughter? Why was she targeting your daughter?
Just like getting kids like getting in trouble and stuff. Like
I mean, that what motivation would a
kinda
school principal administrator have to target your child? What is she revengeful? I mean, why is the principal doing that?
I would say she was just revengeful,
But you
genuine,
must have rubbed her feathers the
I
wrong
mean, I gotta
way.
be genuine.
You may have
Go
rubbed
ahead.
her feathers the wrong way. Is there something that you did that irked the principal?
No, I just think no, it just seemed like anytime another kid could do anything that Jalen would do, and that they would stay on through and be okay. But what Jalen did something like this, he expelled her 3 times in 1 year.
Yeah. Well, with the court appointed attorney, they won't help you.
From the middle school to
Yeah. If you have a court appointed attorney, it's a waste of time
I know.
because you're going to go nowhere.
How much on the average does a paid attorney for a case like that cost?
Well, in my attorney that worked for Vincent W. Davis, who is a trained and educated in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, who'd been fighting CPS for 39 years and gotten children back. He's also a trial attorney and he's also a civil rights attorney. He can do lawsuits. He's not afraid of CPS. He's won millions of dollars in both state court and federal court. He once was a foster kid himself, so he knows the system. He charges in LA County, a retainer of $5,000 and approximate fee of $500 an hour. Now, those are approximate. To get a firm quote on that, it depends on your case, if it's very complex, and also if the case has been going on for a long time. That'll determine the price. And that's in LA County, California. You're in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is quite a ways. I've been to Cincinnati, Ohio. I know what the government's like there. Actually, I know a social worker there, very corrupt. I know what you're going through. I know that there are bad, social workers and bad child protection systems there. And it's an uphill battle because as soon as you take their court appointed attorney, they know you'll be an easy person to prey on your children and get money. They get $20,000 per day per child. And if it's a special needs child, they get additional $10,000. They also have incentive. Yeah, and they also have incentive that they get paid $35,000 if your child gets adopted into foster care. But apparently your mom is unfit for them to watch the kids. Apparently they think that you're unfit.
That's the thing. So that's the thing. So okay, so the first caseworker, the one that got fired or got forced to resign, she was the one that snatched my kids from my mom. But when we got the new caseworker, and him and that supervisor went and interviewed my mom was automatically approved to be able to supervise my kids. So as soon as we got a new caseworker, and they went over and interviewed my mom, they said, "Oh, she can be a supervisor with the kids. Like she can supervise my business with my kids."
Yeah.
So my mom wasn't a problem because that was the new caseworker and the caseworker supervisor. They went and interviewed my mom and approved her right away. So right there, they're admitting that they messed up, right?
Right.
So do you guys have like any attorneys in Ohio that you guys know that
Well, step one, you fight it, and you need an attorney who knows how to fight it. Now you can tell that court appointed attorney if he doesn't do his job that you'll sue him for neglect.
He hasn't done his job.
Well, you may want to change that attorney. You may want to go to the public defender's office in the courthouse. In the courthouse, there's a public defender's office. You go there and say you want to switch attorney because your attorney's neglect and won't pursue the case. Also, you can go to the state capitol of Ohio and file against his license. You can make a complaint. It'll be investigated, and if it's true, he'll lose his license. And you can threaten an attorney with that. That if you don't perform and fight for my case, I will sue you for negligence, and I'll file a complaint against the state bar. The state bar is the agency that gives license to attorneys. And if you have a complaint and it's proven true, then they lose their license.
Yeah, like when they approved my youngest daughter's dad to get overnight visit, like we wasn't notified. Like I wasn't notified about anything. Nobody called and said anything about it, or even my aunt. Like her dad just called my aunt, like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna come pick her up." And she's like, "Pick her up for what?" He's like, "Why did I approve for overnight visit?" My aunt said, "Oh no, I gotta make this phone call. I'll call you back." Because nobody has, like, I have not received not one piece of paperwork of any kind of report or anything from anybody.
Yeah.
The only paper I've received is when I go to court and they like basically like the magistrate her order or whatever. That's the only paper I've received. And like when this way I speak when we was on Zoom or whatever because my kid dad was mad that he didn't get over and visit my taxes lawyer. He's got a pay lawyer at the VA that pays for him, I guess. And like my lawyer like hung up, didn't even come back in, and like I'm trying to speak for myself, to speak up for my kid because the guardian ad litem is not. He's my kid's voice. He's not. He's quiet as a mouse, And I don't hear no voice for my kid, and and the judge, I'm trying to explain to the judge, and she got mad and agitated and used me on like where I couldn't speak, like where everything in me. I just didn't know if you guys like knew like certain attorneys like that I could call, like that you guys would recommend that I go through. I'm here.
Well, in Cincinnati, Ohio, I don't know if you have a $5,000 money to pay a retainer on an attorney in Ohio.
Yeah, I don't know 5,000, but I don't.
Right. Understand. So you have to work with a court-appointed attorney. Now, there's 4 things you got to do with a court-appointed attorney. You need to tell them, first of all, if you're guilty or not guilty. If you're not guilty, you need to tell the attorney that. He has to understand that you're not guilty. 2, you need to tell him that you want family reunification. He needs to tell the judge you want family reunification. That is a step process where they try to put the family back together. You take parenting classes and programs where you lack whatever you lack, But you need to impress upon their court-appointed attorney that you want family reunification. And then number 3, you need to tell the court-appointed attorney who will tell the judge that you'll follow whatever the judge orders. If there's a case plan he orders, you have to follow it. You may not like it, but you have no choice because you don't have a real attorney. So you have to go along with the flow. So long as the attorney knows that you'll follow anything the judge is. I'm not talking about social services. I'm talking about the court. See, in court, independency law, they only have the judge who acts as a referee, and you're all held mercy against one individual. In a true law, there is your 12 peers. It's a trial by jury. That's what should be taking place. It's too much responsibility for one man to resolve this case. It's wrong. But in Ohio, I don't think they have trial by juries. I think it's all done by the judge. And lastly, you need to tell his court-appointed attorney that you want to have visitation as much as you can, whether it's supervised or not supervised, whether it's Zoom or not Zoom.
I get visitation.
Okay, all right.
I get visitation. That has been an issue. But I already started a treatment program right before all this even started or happened. So nobody sent any referrals for me to go anywhere. They just told me to go ahead and keep doing what I was doing, which I have been. And then all of a sudden, they're like, well, we're not seeing no improvement. Blah blah blah. I'm like, you guys haven't told me to do anything else. Tell me what to do and I'll do it because this is what you told me to do and I've been doing it. And nobody really told me to do anything. You know what I mean? Except he said, well, you're already in a program, just keep doing that program. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much been it. And then now he's all like, oh, well, they came out with me going inpatient or whatever. And I never even said nothing about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want that. And so. And so, and then he, I was getting everybody using for my kids at my mom's house and stuff. And, he took away my visit down to 2 hours a week, basically.
Where is the case now? What's the steps in the case? Do you have a plan for reunification?
I just heard, I don't even know if it was. So I just heard adjudication or whatever. I don't even know what it means. On the 23rd of this month. What does that even mean?
Okay, you have on the 23rd of this month in Columbus, Ohio, a jurisdiction.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say
What?
Columbus.
What is the adjudication hearing? Like, what is that exactly?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. In Ohio, the jurisdiction for Children Protection Service is determined by the child's home state for initial custody, but courts can assume temporary emergency um, jurisdiction if a child is immediate in danger. What immediate danger is the child in?
That's the thing. Like, there wasn't in there. There was no immediate danger at my mom's. That's my whole.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to follow up to. They would already. They're saying, that they be on drugs and that I wasn't in my kids' school. Okay, well, my mom came and removed my kids from me the night before, so the threat was already removed. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't want them to have a final custody order where they take possession of the child and have the child adopted in foster care. You see, they have initiative. They get $35,000 if your child gets adopted into foster care.
See, they took custody of my kids that night, which I didn't know. I didn't know that's what, like, I had no idea that's what was happening. Like, my lawyer didn't say nothing about, they were taking custody. I'm thinking, they're just giving my aunt temporary guardianship or whatnot. But no, the state took custody. My aunt is basically like the foster parent, basically. And but they're saying like that basically like they're pretty much like they're pretty much wanting, I think, wanting my youngest daughter. They want her, her biological father. He's saying he wants full custody, and I think that's what they're pushing for because I think that do they want to keep my kids in foster care or would they rather send them with a family member? But he lives, and he's a stranger to her. She doesn't even know him like that. But they're acting like he has all these rights, and I go, what about her rights? She doesn't want to go with him. And they're just acting like it's just all nonchalant. At what age does the kid get to decide if she doesn't want to go, stay with a certain parent? Like I said, he's been a stranger. He's not been present in her life at all. He just kind of came out, dropped out of the sky. And I would say, his main motive would be because he's on disability through the VA. And, all his other kids, he's got 15 kids, and all his other kids is aged out, and now he's looking for a new dependent for a tech.
Yeah, I still am. I was trying to find out some more information to help you with your case. Do you have any family members that are supportive of you?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have any family members that are supportive of you?
Yeah, like my mom's supportive of me, my aunt's supportive of me.
Well, if your aunt is supportive of you and she has temporary custody of your child, what is she doing for you, your aunt?
She don't have custody.
Oh, who? Who has the child? You said your aunt earlier on the conversations, like a foster parent, had custody of your daughters.
Yeah, my aunt, but the state has custody, but they are placed at with my aunt.
What do you mean the state? I'm confused. Why is your aunt involved if she doesn't have custody?
Okay, so this, my aunt doesn't have custody. So the state actually has custody. They get to make all the decisions concerning my kids. But my aunt is basically like
Have you had your TPR? Have you had your
guardian or whatever.
termination of your parental rights removed? Have you had your termination of your medical and educational rights from your daughters removed?
So they still so they made me the for the educational decisions that I was the first person or whatever. But as far as like anything else or whatever, we had to contact the state about. Like my aunt couldn't even take my aunt had to get paperwork from the state before even taking my daughter to a doctor. Basically, she's like a kinsmanship or something. And she had to do classes to be. She's trying to get approved to be a foster parent. That she had to do a bunch of classes for and take a test or whatnot. And they said like the state basically only takes custody of the kids for 6 months before putting them in the foster care system.
Okay. Okay. Now I noticed that my time is going to be over at 11 o'clock. It's 10:54, so I need to wrap up my show. Doesn't mean I'm ending yet, but it's a heads up. I'm on twice a day. Have you heard me before? Had you heard me before?
I've been watching. I didn't know
Okay.
if it was actually.
All right.
The first time I actually caught it live, but I've
Yeah.
been watching yours and Vincent's videos.
Good. Good. Um. So, are you getting a fair shake with the CPS, or you think that they're they're um they're trying to keep your child from you?
I think that they are taking advantage of me, and that I don't think they really even give a crap because I don't think they really consider my kids a threat because with my aunt involved and with Ellie's biological father trying to get custody, they don't see him as a threat, and he is. Like he's the leader of the Iron Horseman Motorcycle Club, and they like nobody even cares.
Yeah.
I don't understand how he's been completely absent and abandoned this little girl her whole life, and yet he can just come in whenever he wants to. They talk about he's the biological father. He has deep rights. Well, what about her rights? I think his rights was null and void when he walked out and abandoned this little girl. For the past 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Does he have an attorney? Does the biological father have an attorney?
Yep, the VA pays for it. He's got to pay attorney through the VA.
Well, he's going to be able. Yeah. That's not good news. That's not good news.
I know, like they're like rights, his rights, his rights. They're not saying anything about my rights. They're not saying nothing about my kids' rights. Like it's ridiculous, really.
Well, you're stuck. I know, but you're stuck because you have to use a court-appointed attorney. And if you're going to use a court-appointed attorney, you got to follow what the judge orders you to do. Now, what does the judge order you to do in court?
That's the thing. She doesn't order me to do anything. The caseworker told me to go ahead and continue doing
you need to go to the court. You need to go to the courthouse. You need to go to the courthouse, go to the clerk's office, and ask for a copy of your court documents. There must be a plan or some type of court documents that have been issued. Anytime you're in court, there is a record.
I haven't received anything. I have not received anything. That's another thing. Nobody.
Well, you need to get something. You need to get something. You need to get paperwork. I'm telling you how to do it. You need to go to the courthouse and go to the clerk's office, give me your case number, and say you want a printout of all the court papers. Now, if you don't have the funds, you tell them that. I don't have the funds to pay for copies. They're going to try to make you pay for copies. But you may not have 20 page for all the copies to get. So you can tell them that you're low income, and if it's necessary, they'll have you fill out a report that shows your low income. Yeah, you need to get their court papers. Without the court papers, you're only guessing. Now, do you have the paperwork that's social service? Do you have? I'm sorry, what?
Is there do you guys know any attorney that you guys work with that you can refer me to up here?
Not in Ohio, and any attorney that we do know. Any attorney we do know is going to ask for a retainer, and you say you can't afford a $5,000 retainer.
Not 5,000 now.
Well, I'm trying to say it's very expensive. Now, I don't know if you ever had open heart surgery. I know anything about open heart surgery, but it takes a professional doctor to do it. You're not going to have an auto mechanic or a dishwasher to work on your heart. The problem is attorneys charge from anywhere from $200 an hour to $1,000 an hour. Retainers can be anywhere from $1,000 to $50,000. It all depends on your case and the complexity of the case. Now, I had to sell my home. I did a quick sale of my home and used that money for my quick sale after I paid off my first and second to hire Mr. Davis to get my kids back. But a lot of people don't have homes as assets. I don't know if you have a car or you have a boat or you have something expensive jewelry or a stamp collection or something like that. Some type of collection is worth a lot of money. You can take that and get money from that. You can get a loan. But you're going to have to think about a lot of big bucks if you want to fight it. Now, if you can't do it, then you have to go with the flow. You have to either substitute the attorney, get another court-appointed attorney.
So could Mr. Davis fight my case in Ohio, or is he only licensed in California?
No, he can fight all over the place, but to go to Ohio may be $125,000. I'd have to get a quote from him. I know in Atlanta, Georgia, and Milwaukee, it's $125,000 retainer and $500 an hour attorney fee. And the reason why it's so high, he has to pay for the airfare. He has ground transportation, air transportation. He has a hotel and food accommodations, and then he has to pay for the license for that state. See, no attorney keeps license for all 50 states. They only, when they fight from another state, they'll. No, we don't have anybody there. The best way to do that is to go to Chat GPT or Google Chrome and type in your city and your state, spell out Child Protection System, CPS, and then after that, put down looking for juvenile law, family law, dependency law attorney. You'll get a list of them. Then you're going to have to contact them and see if they can answer the questions.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, that's not what you want to hear, and I'm so sorry about that.
I'll keep you updated and let you know.
Yeah, I want you to do that, Kathy. I want you to do that. But thank you so much for calling in, Kathy. I do have to end my live stream. It's over now.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, God bless you and take care. I'll be on again tonight at 7 p.m. Now, that was Kathy Doe from Hamilton County in Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, I just put on Department of Government Efficiency. If you're unsuccessful fighting them at the county level by talking to a supervisor, manager, or the director, then you can try the state level by talking to the ombudsperson or civil rights coordinator. And then the federal level, you go to DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. They have a website. They have phone numbers, which are the White House. They work. I've tried them out. They also have a place you can send an email about your complaint about CPS. They love to hear from you. They're investigating all the government entities, and CPS is one of them. So I'll leave that up for you to look at. Also, I want to thank not only Kathy Doyle, who called in from Ohio for talking. I want to thank Corilla Duatrick from Oxnard, California. Thank you both for being a part of my live stream. Also, I want to thank the emojis from Donna Yansasky and from Christian Nacha Ojantana. Thank you two for the emojis. But I'll be on again tonight at 7 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. And I would love to talk to you more. I'm here to help you. Please do not stop fighting for your child. It's very important you keep fighting for your child. Now, there'll be a brief video when I end my live stream. Please watch the video. God bless you and have a beautiful day.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left. Put your faith